Okay, welcome to BankX Boardroom, August 28th. I believe this is episode 8 or 7. So I just wanted to come on for a quick update on what's happening with BankX. As you can tell, I'm not at my normal shooting studio that I have with the BankX Boardroom as I'm in the middle of a transition as I move to Miami. So we've been working quite a bit on a number of things that I want to update you on, and also talk about things that are going on in the market that I think have been interesting and affect BankX. I think the bull market is still here. I'm spending a couple hours a day keeping up with what's going on in crypto projects and the market, where a lot of sort of crypto influencers are thinking that Bitcoin is going to 150 to 250K, and ETH and uh, other altcoins will also go up, which I think is going to bring more interest to crypto and more interest to BankX. Where I was seeing some reports after the Genius Act, where there's estimates that the stablecoin market is going to grow to 2 trillion in market cap by 2028. So this is, I think, a very exciting time for BankX as we deploy some other things around the protocol, and there are these other sort of interests and the government getting involved with giving some clear regulation on what's supposed to happen with stablecoins. I think the Stablecoin Act, or the Genius Act, is interesting because it is a way for the U.S. government to get more buyers to the U.S. Treasuries, right? So this Genius Act requires some backing of either dollars or Treasury. So all of these stablecoin companies will now have to have either dollars or they would purchase Treasuries, which is a way to help refinance our debt in the U.S. and all that. And I think it's also interesting is that this also effectively creates a digital clone of every dollar that is comes through the stablecoin crypto system, right? So if you come in and you put in a dollar and get a digital uh, stablecoin, that dollar then purchases treasury. That dollar's still in the fiat world in circulation. So and then of course that stablecoin that you just purchased is now going to buy crypto. So it's an interesting thing when you look at kind of what's happening and how that is structured. So I think all of these things are very exciting for stablecoin protocols. That effectively sort of duplicates dollars in the system, right? Um, there's also these crypto companies that are making their own sort of treasury companies. So, you know, coming in and you coming in and buying a stock actually helps to buy crypto. So this is an incredibly bullish environment that we're in, not only for crypto but for stable coins. And so one of my favorite sort of crypto influencers, your friend Somi, he calls it the stablecoin super cycle that's going to be going on for years to come. And that he even thinks, and I also agree, that even in a bear market, we're still going to see this underlying sort of current pushing stable coins throughout the economy. Other bullish things that were very interesting was the company Bullish that Peter Thiel took public, where they settled everything through stablecoin, and it was about 1.15 billion in stablecoin. So lots of things happening that I think uh, affect BankX and stablecoins. And just recently, I saw that even Trump is working with Crypto.com on doing a $6 billion treasury company. So very interesting and very exciting as we start to really finish things up um, with BankX. So I wanted to give you some updates on what's happening on because there's been a lot of development going on in the background, even though it's been about a month since we've done our last BankX boardroom. So Delta V, my AI clone, and sort of the AI that's been empowered to help market and onboard and answer questions for community members. So he will be on the website shortly, and the code will be given to community members that would like to add Delta V to their websites. So that will expand his reach beyond Telegram and X. And we're adding some other capabilities to him as we finish the final training to where he will be fully automated. So one of those things is as I see him going off the rails, I can give specific instructions to him. So it's wild that I even refer to him as a person because this has been an interesting exercise in kind of this wave of AI and then having sort of this personality that's been fed all of the information about BankX, about me, and be able to answer questions and do this sort of automated marketing and onboarding with some personality. So even community members have mentioned at how they think this whole AI with Delta V is just wild how it works. So that I think has been very interesting. I think going to be a unique way that we onboard people and bring interest to BankX with the AI clone that we've created. The other thing with AI Defy is everything seems to be working really well with that. No hacks. It's working as most of it is working as expected. We've had a couple of iterations of fixing the backup automation that we use through Chainlink, so that should be done shortly. Once we see that working correctly, we're going to deploy AI Defy on all the rest of the chains. Right now, AI Defy is only on Arbitrum, so we think that's going to be a great way to onboard people. So you have Delta V asking, answering questions, helping with the marketing, and then people that don't want to spend the time to learn all of the details about BankX, they can just become involved in the system with AI Defy. And to refresh your memory with AI Defy, it basically you earn interest and get your principal back in the form of the XSD stablecoin. The crypto, the native blockchain token that you deposit, is used to do things that the BankX system needs. Like when XSD is below the peg, it buys it. When it's at the peg, when XSD is at the peg, it will add liquidity. So we get it to the peg. Once at peg, it deepens the liquidity. And then from there, if those two conditions are true, then what it will do is buy the BankX token and burn it. So we'll have things in the BankX UI that automate AI Defy, and then as Chainlink would the Chainlink upkeep system would automate as an additional backup. So it still maintains that decentralized nature within BankX, but we have another way to automate things. So the other things with BankX, the previous hacks that we've put countermeasures in, we have seemed to patch those up. I'm not seeing anywhere where the hacker has been able to even drain, sort of little amounts of crypto from our liquidity pool. So things seem to be working well there. What we will do next is we are actually in the middle of deploying on Pulse Chain, and we need to test to make sure that Oracle works that we have put in place. So it's looking like we're going to use Fetch just for PLS, and then we'll have a centralized solution for the silver price. And then as we get more support on Pulse Chain, we'll transition the pricing Oracle for the silver price. I think beyond that, we're also looking at converting the code into Rust, and we'll also be able to deploy on Solana, but I don't have a date on that. For the Pulse Chain deployment, I will notify everyone of the date, obviously, and there'll be a claim period. So it's not just simple thing of just we deploy a few contracts. There's settings, we have a claim app, there's other things in addition to testing the new pricing Oracle that we want to make sure everything works before we release that. I know it's been quite a long time coming, and I share in the frustration. This is the last chain that we were, sort of talked about deploying on as a part of the BankX system. From there, we're going to do, we're already testing some different marketing things that we've been working with some community members that have given us suggestions. So as we deploy on Pulse Chain, get AI Defy on all the chains, we're going to start ramping up the marketing, which would be some sort of paid engagements, things that we would do there, plus also, me being on more interviews and things that I've done in the past that I think would raise more visibility to that. Some of the last things I want to mention here with BankX is I'm going to also be building another system, another app within the BankX system that I've talked about, when we're going to call it Trade Lock. And what that is an escrow for using XSD to buy any NFT. So as we move towards real world assets that are represented on the blockchain, you could represent uh, real world assets with an NFT that could be anything: a house, a car, a non certificable stock certificate, where you would be able to put that in TradeLock and pay for it with XSD. So it manages the process between the buyer and seller with this sort of escrow that doesn't involve a person. And so I think that's a key element as we move towards RWA within, making payments with on all on chain, that you don't need a third party to trust. So that's something that we'll be working on, I think, after we deploy on Solana. So we'll do all of the AI DeFi deployments, Pulse Chain, then Solana, then TradeLock. Also, in parallel to this, which some of you have heard about, I've talked about this platform where we will have our own wallet solution, which I've talked about for quite a long time, called Lockbox. So we have also been in parallel building that. So when that gets closer to being done, prior to launch, we're going to have a hacker program where I will have stablecoin in a wallet, and that private key will be in the Lockbox network. We'll start off with a $10,000 bounty that anyone that's able to hack and get the private key would be able to earn that 10,000, and then as we progress, we'll be increasing that to more and more stablecoin to attract more attackers right before we launch, to make sure that we've got a very secure system. So there's going to be more information on what exactly Lockbox does, but effectively it's a B2B solution for any wallet provider to be able to store private keys of their customers. We have some very unique patent pending technology that will be a part of that solution, and that is also, I think, a very exciting thing that I've been working on for quite some time. So with that, I wanted to give everyone an update on what is happening with the development of BankX and deployment on the rest of the chains for AI DeFi, and the market again efforts beginning shortly thereafter. So I'll be back with an update on all of that, but wanted to hop on to another BankX boardroom and give an update on things. So I appreciate it. And if you haven't joined our socials, you go to @BankXIO for YouTube, X, or Telegram. Thank you very much.